Now, Emma's parents need help to care for her, and the NDIS pays a lot of money for someone to do just that. But the conditions in which she was living were so concerning, her mum and dad feared for her health, sometimes even her life.
We've lived through an 18 months of hell with this place.
Totally gut-wrenching. You push.
Emma Treble loves listening to music, going for walks and a drive in the family car. She's much like you and I. But Emma lives with disabilities that mean at 33 years old, mum and dad can't care for her anymore.
It's a full-time job, like Emma, and overnight you are up and down every night of your life.
Battling cancer, Jeff is exhausted and Meryl worn out. The Trebles deciding their full-time care at home had to come to an end. But at the hands of support workers paid for by the NDIS, they say Emma almost died twice.
We've seen all the mistakes and all the times we've had to bring her home when the whole idea of this was to set her life up and we can finally perhaps have a bit of life of our own.
She came very close to dying.
Emma's epileptic and non-verbal. Very few people know her like her private carer of 10 years, Sam Waters. But Sam says after 14 months living in supported disability accommodation, Emma isn't herself.
Very affectionate, used to be very happy. You can see that she's been traumatised by this whole thing.
Emma moved into a brand new house in suburban Melbourne in March last year, a place where she would have around-the-clock support by community care provider Sunrise to Sunrise. But according to her loved ones, that didn't happen. Instead, her parents and carers say Emma lived in filth.
Her sheets would be very dirty. There'd be faeces all over them and dried urine.
Sam was employed by the Trebles to help Sunrise to Sunrise care for Emma. She would visit the house multiple times a week, and what Sam found shocked her.
Her pyjamas that had been soiled, shoved in the bottom of her washing basket, on top of all the other clothes that hadn't been washed.
These are the living conditions inside the house funded by the NDIS, where the food is rotten, the sheets dirty, and the vulnerable bruised.
The majority of them had no training. They actually would admit to me that they had no training. Like when they did do her washing, they'd put it away still damp and her clothes started going mouldy. There was twice I found Emma's medication on her bedroom floor, once on the laundry floor.
Emma's NDIS package at the time meant the provider was getting more than $350,000 a year.
On the first day I met from Sunrise, he called me outside and said to me, if there's any incidents, please don't tell the parents, come to us instead.
But Emma's parents found out. Suffering seizures, Emma fell out of her bed 3 times in a single night. Her parents say that was on Sunrise to Sunrise's watch. Emma had a serious head injury and severe concussion. A worker was paid to stay up all night. Instead, it's been revealed they were asleep on the job.
You put your trust in these people to do the care at the level you do it, and they honestly don't do that.
Her parents say 2 months later, Sunrise to Sunrise gave Emma the wrong medication.
They couldn't determine which medication had been given.
4 months later, Emma had food poisoning.
They defrost chicken or any meats just in the sink.
In hot water?
Yeah, hot water, and it'd sit there all day.
That same month, Emma caught COVID, which turned into pneumonia and later respiratory distress syndrome. She spent more than 3 weeks in hospital fighting for her life.
Desperate parents who are quite sort of traumatised about fighting the system. That happens on a regular basis, you know, that's monthly.
Disability Advocacy Manager at Valid, Frederica Jensen, has seen providers make the system work for them.
We do come across cases where both support coordinators and service providers are billing for care that's not done.
In a statement, registered NDIS provider Sunrise to Sunrise said, "We are committed to continuous training and improvement and recognise that this is vital to the delivery of high-quality, customised care." Emma's parents, Emma's carers all want greater regulation of the disability sector. They want NDIS support providers to be closely and strictly monitored to make sure our most vulnerable are cared for, even when no one else is watching.
Who's overseeing all this and who's keeping an eye on these people and these companies that are popping up with NDIS? You fight for everybody. You want to make the system better.
The NDIS Quality and Safeguards Commission says it's aware of the family's concerns and is looking into the issues raised.